Welcome back to another episode. Today we're gonna start cleaning the engine and getting it ready for the Cerakote. It's super grimy, super dirty. It's 35 degrees out today, so nice weather. We're firstly gonna power wash it, and then we're gonna use some petrol to clean all the old stuff and old oils. We'll see how that goes. It's probably gonna take a lot of elbow grease and a lot of scrubbing, but in the end it's gonna be worth it. So let's not waste any more time and get to it. Quick look of what the engine looks like before we start cleaning it. So, for now I call it done. We're gonna turn it around and clean the bottom of the engine. When we've done that, we can take all the side covers off, the water pump, the clutch housing, and those parts are gonna get sandblasted before we Cerakote them. When it comes to the engine block, we're just gonna scrub it with some wire brushes, degrease it, and then we're gonna paint over it with the Cerakote. We're not gonna sandblast the whole block. We need a bit of persuasion to move this. There we go. There we go. So you usually just want to change the friction plate inside of here. You want to leave the rest, so remember how it was assembled and keep it that way. We have to make a tool now to remove the clutch housing. Hope it's visible, but we have to prevent it from spinning, so we can unscrew the main bolt and get it done. We don't have the tool and we don't want to pay the BMW prices for the tool, so I have measurements taken and we're gonna cut it from this piece of steel. That's it. Like I mentioned before, we're only cleaning the engine with some wire brushes and degreasing it. We're not gonna sandblast the whole block. You can see most of the stuff is coming off. Then we're gonna use some acetone and it's brand spanking new, ready for paint. We took all the side covers off and onto the sandblaster.
One eternity later.
So after a few hours of sandblasting, that's the final result. We still have to clean them, of course, before painting and focus on that step. Cleanliness is everything when it comes to painting. I'm firstly gonna wash them and take all the sand off the covers. Then we're gonna use some acetone and we're gonna put some heat into the covers. You will see later in the video how it's all coming off. But first, masking. Don't forget to mask all the areas you don't want to cover with paint. A quick tip is that you don't use the X-Acto blade. You can use the dull edge and it's gonna work perfectly and create perfect lines, as you can see here. So all I'm doing here is spraying the parts with acetone to get the last parts of the grease from them. Of course, you can use the cloth as well with acetone or any other degreaser. I just like to do it this way. Now we're gonna use the torch on all the parts. You can see the moisture coming off of it. So don't skip that step, and you don't want to heat the part before painting it. You want to let it cool off before you put on the paint. Quick final wipe with the cloth before painting. As my spray gun of choice, I'm using Iwata LPH80 and I'm gonna run 30 psi on it. Get all the nooks and crannies first and then put a one solid coat over the whole thing. Otherwise you might have a running paint or pools somewhere, so that's always how I do it. Always focus on the hard to reach areas and then spray the whole thing with an even coat all over it. And there it is. I'm super stoked with how it turned out. I'm gonna sand the letters off from the BMW and all the engravings, but overall the covers and the engine are done. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. In the next one we're gonna rebuild the engine and finally start working on the gearbox. So see you there.